Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Learning English USC. I'm your host, Jessica, and I'm very happy that you are here with me today. In this episode, we are going to talk about one of the most important parts of learning a language, English conversation practice. Many students study grammar for years. They memorize vocabulary, complete exercises, and watch English videos every day. But when it is time to speak with another person, they suddenly become nervous. Their mind goes blank, they forget words, and they lose confidence. If this happens to you, don't worry. You are not alone. This is a very common problem for English learners around the world. The good news is that speaking English is a skill, and every skill can improve with practice. You do not need perfect grammar to have conversations. You do not need a perfect accent either. What you really need is regular speaking practice, patience, and confidence. Today, I will help you understand how to improve your English conversation skills naturally and comfortably. So relax, listen carefully, and imagine we are having a real conversation together. Let's begin. First, I want to explain something important. Many learners think speaking English fluently means speaking very fast. But fluency is not about speed. Fluency means expressing your ideas clearly and naturally without too much fear. Some people speak very fast, but make communication confusing. Other people speak slowly and clearly, and everyone understands them perfectly. So never feel pressure to speak quickly. Focus on speaking clearly and confidently. One of the best ways to improve conversation skills is by listening carefully to natural English. Before people become strong speakers, they usually become good listeners first. Think about children learning their first language. They spend years listening before they speak fluently. English learners need listening practice too. That is why podcasts are so powerful. When you listen to English regularly, your brain slowly becomes familiar with pronunciation, rhythm, sentence structure, and common expressions. At first, you may understand only a few words, but over time, your understanding becomes stronger. Consistency is the key. Listening for 15 or 20 minutes every day can create amazing improvement in the long term. Now let's talk about speaking fear. Many learners are afraid of making mistakes during conversations. They think, what if I say something wrong? What if people laugh at me? What if my pronunciation sounds strange? But let me tell you something important. Mistakes are a normal part of learning. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. Real conversations are not perfect. People pause, repeat words, change sentences, and forget vocabulary. That happens naturally in every language. So stop waiting to become perfect before speaking. Confidence comes from practice, not from perfection. The more you speak, the more relaxed you become. Now let's imagine a simple English conversation. Person 1 says, "Hi, how are you?" Person 2 says, "I'm good, thank you. How about you?" This conversation is very simple, but simple conversations are extremely important for beginners. You do not need advanced vocabulary to communicate successfully. You can start with basic daily expressions. For example, what did you do today? How was your weekend? What are your plans tomorrow? What kind of music do you like? These are natural conversation questions. When practicing English, try to focus on communication instead of complicated grammar. Now let's talk about daily practice. One of the biggest mistakes learners make is practicing English only once in a while. Language learning requires consistency. Even 10 minutes of conversation practice every day is better than studying for 5 hours only once a month. Small daily habits create strong long-term progress. You can practice speaking while walking outside. You can speak while cooking. You can describe your room in English. You can explain your daily routine aloud. For example, I am making coffee. I am cleaning my room. Today I feel tired. I want to study English tonight. These simple speaking exercises help train your brain to think in English naturally. Another powerful technique is shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating immediately after them. For example, if I say, I enjoy learning English, you repeat, I enjoy learning English. Try to copy the pronunciation, rhythm, and emotion. Shadowing improves pronunciation, speaking speed, listening skills, and confidence at the same time. It is one of the best methods for conversation improvement. Now let's talk about vocabulary. Many students try to memorize huge vocabulary lists, but they quickly forget the words. Instead of memorizing random words, focus on useful phrases and expressions. For example, that sounds interesting. I'm not sure. Could you repeat that? I totally agree. I understand what you mean. These expressions are extremely useful in real conversations. Native speakers often communicate through phrases, not isolated words. Learning phrases makes conversations easier and more natural. Now, I want to discuss something very important: thinking in English. Many learners translate every sentence from their native language into English before speaking. This creates stress and slows down conversations. Instead, try to connect English words directly with ideas and images. For example, when you hear the word apple, imagine the fruit immediately instead of translating it into your native language. This helps your brain respond faster during conversations. Building this habit takes time, so be patient with yourself. Now, let's practice a short conversation together. Listen carefully. Hello, what's your name? My name is Alex. Nice to meet you, Alex. Nice to meet you too. Where are you from? I'm from Brazil. What do you do? I'm a student. What do you like to do in your free time? I enjoy listening to music and watching movies. This is a simple but natural conversation. You can practice conversations like this every day. If you do not have a speaking partner, you can still practice alone. Yes, practicing alone really works. You can speak to yourself in English. You can answer your own questions. You can record your voice. You can talk in front of a mirror. At first, this may feel strange, but it is excellent. Practice speaking aloud trains your mouth and brain together. Now let's talk about pronunciation. Many learners worry too much about having a perfect accent, but clear communication is more important than sounding exactly like a native speaker. You do not need a perfect American or British accent to speak excellent English. Your goal should be clarity, confidence, and natural rhythm. One way to improve pronunciation is by listening carefully to native speakers. Pay attention to how words connect together. For example, what are you doing? Often sounds like, what are you doing? At first, connected speech may sound difficult, but regular listening helps your ears adapt naturally. Movies, podcasts, interviews, and YouTube videos are excellent pronunciation tools. But remember, active listening is important. Do not only watch. Pause and repeat. Copy the speaker's tone and emotion. This creates faster improvement. Now I want to tell you a story. A student once told me, Jessica, I understand English when people speak slowly. but I cannot continue conversations. I asked him, "How often do you practice speaking?" He answered, "Only when I have English class." That was the problem. Speaking once or twice a week is not enough for strong conversation improvement. So I gave him a challenge. I told him to practice speaking English every day for 15 minutes. He described his daily activities. He talked about his plans. He repeated podcast sentences aloud. He practiced simple conversations. After 1 month, his confidence improved dramatically. Why? Because conversation skills improve through regular use. The more you speak, the more natural English feels. Now let's practice some useful conversation expressions together. Repeat after me. How's your day going? That's a great idea. I'm a little busy today. What do you think? I completely understand. Could you help me? I'm still learning English. Can you speak more slowly? Excellent job. These are practical expressions you can use in real conversations immediately. Now let's talk about confidence again. Confidence is not something magical. Confident speakers are not fearless people. They simply continue speaking even when they feel nervous. That is the difference. You do not need to remove fear completely before speaking English. You only need the courage to continue. Every conversation makes you stronger. Every mistake teaches you something. Every practice session builds fluency little by little. Now I want to talk about motivation. Sometimes English learners feel frustrated because progress feels slow. Maybe you study every day but still feel nervous speaking. That is normal. Language learning is a long journey. Think about going to the gym. You do not become strong after one workout. Strength develops slowly through repetition and consistency. English works the same way. Every podcast you listen to helps your brain. Every sentence you repeat improves pronunciation. Every conversation builds confidence. Even when progress feels invisible, improvement is happening. So do not give up. Now let's imagine your future. Imagine yourself speaking English confidently during conversations. Imagine traveling and communicating naturally. Imagine making international friends. Imagine understanding movies, podcasts, and interviews without subtitles. That future is possible. But fluency is built through small daily actions, not overnight success, not perfect grammar. Not talent alone. Daily practice. Now, before we finish today's episode, I want to give you a simple conversation practice routine. First, listen to English every day. Second, repeat sentences aloud. Third, learn useful phrases instead of isolated words. Fourth, practice speaking for at least 10 minutes daily. And finally, stop being afraid of mistakes. Remember, communication matters more than perfection. You are learning. You are improving. And every day you practice, your confidence grows stronger. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I'm Jessica from Learning English USA, and I truly believe that you can become a confident English speaker. Keep practicing. Keep listening. Keep speaking. And most importantly, never stop believing in yourself. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care, stay motivated, and continue practicing English every single day.